Hey everyone, welcome back. A little while ago, we talked about a documentary that asked a pretty huge question. What if the word homosexual was never actually supposed to be in the Bible? Well, that film, 1946, the mistranslation that shifted culture, definitely started a conversation. And today we're circling back to that story because it turns out it didn't just end when the credits rolled. It actually hit the road. So if you happen to catch Elton Sherwin's earlier explainer on this, you'll know that the 1946 documentary laid out a really compelling case. We're treating this as an update to that story, kind of picking up where he left off, because what started as this one discovery has really blossomed into a whole movement. So let's dive in. All right, so for anyone who's just joining this whole conversation, let's do a quick recap of the bombshell discovery that's at the very heart of this award-winning documentary, 1946. The entire film, and I mean everything, hinges on this one really powerful question. It just asks you to think, what if a word that has shaped so much pain and created so much division was simply a mistake? That one question is what kicked off this incredible historical detective story. So the filmmakers went digging deep into the archives at Yale University, and what they found there was pretty astonishing. Documents that pinpoint the exact moment the word homosexual was first put into English Bible translation back in 1946. They argue this single act was kind of like the spark that lit the fuse for a lot of the modern anti-gay rhetoric within Christian communities. But, and this is super important, the film isn't just a one-sided thing. They intentionally included pastors who completely disagree with their findings, which makes for a really honest and thorough look at all the evidence. And the impact of this film, it's been huge. I mean, BuzzFeed went so far as to call it one of the most influential films of the century. And you know, that's not just hype. It really shows how deeply this whole discovery is resonating with people. But it's not just the critics either. At major film festivals, from Doc NYC all the way to Palm Springs, it has consistently been winning audience awards. That's a really powerful sign, right? It tells you this isn't some dry academic debate. It's a story that is genuinely moving people from all kinds of backgrounds. But the film was really just the beginning. The conversation it kicked off has now kind of spilled off the screen and taken on a new life on the road in the form of a brand new podcast series. So the creators of the film launched this companion podcast, and they've called it the Culture Shift Tour. They literally went on a 15-city road trip, and they weren't just going to screen the film. The whole point was to have real, direct, face-to-face conversations in communities all across the country. And the podcast basically takes you along for the entire ride. You know, it's all about challenging those harmful interpretations head-on, but it's also about creating space for dialogue about resilience and identity. The hosts are confronting these cultural divides in real time, and they share these incredibly powerful personal stories and local insights they pick up in each city. It's just a raw, honest, and pretty inspiring look at what it actually takes to create change from the ground up. So, if you're sitting there thinking you want to check this out for yourself, here's exactly where you can find both the film and the podcast. You can stream the entire documentary right now. Just go to 1946themovie.com. And as always, don't worry about scribbling that down. We'll have the link waiting for you in the notes. And for the podcast, the Culture Shift Tour, you can find that pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all the usual places. It is the perfect way to follow their journey on the ground. And you guessed it, that link is also in the notes. So all of this, the film, the research, the tour, it kind of leaves us with one final thing to think about. So just think about this for a second. Is there anyone you know, a friend, a family member, someone in your community that might like to see this movie or listen to this podcast? Because sharing this story could be the start of a conversation that truly, truly matters. Thanks for joining us.